This one, again, is not one of my favorites, but it has some really funny moments that make up for it. Like, I think one of my favorite scenes is right at the end, Lucifer and Linda's conversation, because it's like, it's so lighthearted and fun, you know? Like, they're just picking on each other.
I know, that's how I felt most of the episode. I was like, I think I've seen this one enough. I'm kind of bored. And then like the very end when they catch the killer and then with the whole Linda scene, I was like, okay, I like both of these parts here. But other than that, I was like, I don't need to watch this episode again.
I love Chloe to bits and pieces, you know that. I love her with my entire soul, but the girl drives me nuts with her Lucifer denial. Like, she literally episode 3 and she's already researching him and like looking into it and like why was he able to throw a man 3 times his size through a window? And like then she just drops it. She's like, "No, you're just insane. That's what it is." I'm like, "Dude, Chloe, honey, come on." Literally going to complain about this every single week because she drives me nuts with her just she's just so in denial. Even Trixie's like, I know that little shit-eating grin on Trixie's face that she is the one that gave Lucifer her number.
Oh,
That's the exact look Aspen gives me when she does something she's not supposed to. Just that, like, I'm doing something I'm not supposed to, but I'm gonna smile at you like I'm innocent. That's what
that's
kids do.
funny.
But you could just
No,
tell,
but
like, go ahead.
no, but you're right, because I had written down Chloe is the best detective, but I'm sorry, if that were true, she would have figured it out maybe sooner. I don't know.
She's the best detective, except when it comes to things she doesn't want to accept, which is like number one, Lucifer. She's like, yeah, I just think you're nuts and super strong, despite the fact that you, for like the first whole season 1, you look like a beanpole.
I don't know if this was the first episode where he really started doing it, but like I caught him saying detective like a lot, and I was just like heart eyes
I want to count, like, we should do like a count starting like now, that where we post once a week, how many times he says detective in that episode.
in the episode. That'd be
Yeah,
funny.
he
That'd be
says it a
fun.
lot. And like, I want to know how he learns. When is the first time somebody uses Chloe's actual name around him? Because
Well,
like he must have done research on her at some point because no one ever uses her middle name around him. He just knows it, which catches her by surprise later on. But like when is the first time someone calls her Chloe with him around?
see that I've had that question forever because it goes back to the pilot. Because when she gets shot, he says Chloe, and I'm like, but when did someone say Chloe around him? Because I've watched it and when did he learn
It's
that her name
not
is
it's not on
Chloe?
her badge.
Huh?
It's not on her badge. It just says Decker. Her badge I think just says Decker, if that. If her badge even says Decker on it. It might just be her. I don't think it does. I think it's just her badge number and like LA Police Department. I know that because I was making a replica for Halloween.
My headcanon is that he did a ton of research on her after the hot tub high school.
You know, actually, that would make sense. I didn't even think about that. But Hot Tub High School, like it says her name right on the screen, starring Chloe
In the
Decker.
credits. Then he probably did a ton of Googling.
So yeah, duh, that's how he learned it. Then I'm an idiot
No, no,
because
you're
it
not.
shows
It's
us the
literally
opening
not.
screen.
It
It
doesn't
shows us the
happen on
opening
screen.
screen. No, it shows us the opening screen for Hot Tub High School later on. He's about to like fiddle with himself to it,
Yeah.
and it shows right on the screen. It shows starring Chloe Decker, which like why would they make her name like big on there? Like it must be because of her connection to Penelope. I have no idea because like she wasn't a big star at that point. That was like her first major role, so to speak. But yeah, that would be how he knew her name because
Cracking
he
me up.
had why.
No, nothing. You just make me laugh with like, why would her name be so big? That's just funny.
Well, like because like they normally do that with big stars, like for Tom, like when he's in movies, it's like starring Tom Ellis, or movies with Alan Rickman because he's a big star. It's like starring Alan Rickman because they were in stuff prior to that, and they're like one of the main roles. And yes, she's in the main role, but she's not super famous at that point. Why are we talking about this?
I don't know. But anyways, changing the topic, going back to the fiddling. I love the part where he's in the hallway watching the sex tape, and she's just like, why are you watching porn right now? Like, really?
See, I love that whole scene. Like, I love when she like marches him outside, just locks him outside like a dog. She's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you
The way
need to
she
go
just
outside and
grabs
get
him.
away. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. I love that part.
right from the beginning. Losing my voice, crap. Right from the beginning, he's a little puppy that follows her around.
Yep. And then I love also, like I was saying, the only part of this episode that like I really, really liked was the ending. Like I still love so much how when he's angry and he throws the guy through the window, that she's the
Hmm.
only one who can calm him down. Like that is my favorite part still.
Yes, yes. Oh my God. It's literally like right from the beginning too. It's like she just gets in front of him and touches his chest, and he's like, "Oh, you're right. I'm overreacting. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
detective." Like
Mm-hmm.
Lucifer, come on, grow some, grow some. I was gonna use a Spanish word, but I'm just gonna say
Cojones.
balls because yeah,
Cojones.
I can't. I didn't know. I was gonna pronounce it wrong, and somebody was gonna yell at me. So I'm just gonna, you know. But
Yeah.
no, it's just it's great because it like and it goes back for me like my favorite. I think one of my favorite scenes where she does that is like when you have Eve on one side. It's literally like the good devil, like when you have like the angel and the devil on your shoulder. Except that it's so funny using that like that when comparing it to them because Lucifer's the literal devil, but like Eve on one side and Chloe on the other, and it's literally the angel and the devil on his shoulder. Like I, I can't talk. Eve is like talking in one ear, like yes, like be bad, like that's what you do, and then Chloe's like behave yourself, and he's like right, of course, yeah. What was I thinking?
Yeah, and then back in this episode, like I said, like the majority of this episode, it was so slow, but then you get to like that part, or when he's talking with Linda, and it's like, I love this scene because not only is it good in the episode, but then like seeing where it goes later in the show, and like he's this person now, but it goes like down to where it does. That's what I like about that's what I enjoy about watching it again is like seeing
Mhm.
where we're going with these characters.
No, yeah, definitely. Like I was just gonna say too, like in relation to that, I like that how right from the beginning, like because even though Anna Linda, what am I talking about? Linda, I'm not in like the right state of mind right now to be doing this apparently because my brain's not working. But Linda, I don't know where Anna came from. Oh my God. Is there a character in the show called Anna? What's wrong
I
with
don't
me right now?
think so.
Oh my
I don't think
God,
so.
Kim. Kim, I'm having a moment.
It's okay.
Linda, like, just like, even though in the beginning it's kind of like they are just very they're sleeping together, so it's like it's not really their relationship isn't to the point that it is later on. I like that they still have that playfulness to them where she's like, "Oh, you're deflecting," and he's like, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "Yep," and that's it. And she's like, "Yeah, that's denial." He's like, "That's a river in wherever
Africa.
geography, yeah, whatever, you know what I meant." But I just like how very like playful their banter is in the beginning, and then like later on, it's still playful, but it gets more serious because she actually becomes a proper therapist to him, and that she's not just
Hmm.
using his walking heroin stick.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
anybody wants to talk, you're more than welcome to request, and I will add you. You don't have to just listen to us talk for an hour.
But something that I always enjoy is how he got onto cases before they were officially partners, where it was like, oh, this murder happened around me. Oh, I need to call a detective. Oh, I know a detective.
Yeah,
I like
he
that.
just shows up and then he calls her and he's like, "Hey, somebody died." And she's like, "Dude, I'm not like
Your
that's
personal detective.
yeah, I'm not your personal detective. You can't just like literally try and carry me around in your pocket and use me at your disposal." He's like, "But that's your job." And she's like, "Not for you, it's not." Chloe is just I love how like Chloe's always been very like again, I love Chloe, but like very stick in the mud, very by the book, don't mess with the rules kind of person. But I like for some reason in episode 3, I keep saying episode 2. I'm a week behind, but it's episode 3. Like she's just very, very like more so, and I don't know why. Like I don't know if it's because Lucifer is showing up more and she's kind of tired of his crap or what it is. But in this episode, she just seemed to be very much like I don't a lot harsher than she had been for episode 1 and 2. Does that
Mm,
make sense? She just seemed to like
yeah.
to come across harsher to me than she did in episode 1 and 2.
Well, this guy keeps popping up and keeps like interfering with her work, and she's like, What do you want from me now? Oh my God.
She's like, I am literally going to kill you if you do not stop.
And then I think Dan had maybe the most screen time yet in this episode, and I thought it was
Oh
really
yeah,
funny,
definitely.
like really like the
Yes.
douchiness and
Could you look any more like a douche? Mission accomplished.
then I wrote it down. But oh, Lucifer's like, if you need help getting that stick out of your ass, I don't think anybody's strong enough for that, or something like that.
Oh my god, yes. I literally like this. This is like one of the best Lucifer episodes when it comes to like the earlier seasons because they're really starting to get at each other's throats and like interact more.
hmm And then I just want to add, so like the first time that I watched this episode, the
Hmm.
very beginning, I thought he was gonna make that girl jump off a roof, seriously. And every single time, still, it's like, is he gonna make that girl legit jump off a roof?
Well, that's the thing for me too
It's a
is
really
like
good
that
opening.
scene. I know that scene is meant to make it look like she's gonna jump off a roof, but after you've seen it once and then you realize what's actually happening, you're like, she's being a little over dramatic right now
Well, I was
in regards to the pool. Like, um,
thinking,
Jess, if you want to say something, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say because you were talking about that you didn't know how he discovered that like what her name was, and that
Mhm.
he watched the porno with her, and but the thing is he was like wondering like for episodes like where do I know her from? I know her from somewhere, and it's like then how did he know her name? If he didn't even know
Yeah,
remember her from where she was from.
yeah, that's fair. I like it must have been like well, the way I would take it is subconsciously he knew and like his brain just linked that name to her. And then later on, he realizes why he knows it is because she's in Hot Tub High School.
Yeah.
Or does it? No, because Mr. Uh, Delilah's ex says that she's from Hot Tub High School. So he finds out like right away, but I guess it's not until after she gets shot. But I would just assume it's like subconsciously he connects the dots and then realizes later on. The writers do that a few times with different things where it kind of happens off screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact is, that's his favorite movie, and if it's one of your favorite movies, you would remember your actors from that movie. So
Plot holes. We'll just ignore the plot holes, guys. So, what is everybody's favorite line from this episode?
Oh God. Um,
there's so many.
I know, I know.
Mine is definitely the you're in denial. That's a river in Africa.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
there's a couple that stand out, but that's definitely like fresh. It's obviously because it's the end of the episode that it's fresh in my mind, but that's definitely on the list for it.
About
I also think that this might be the first episode where he admits that he never lies, maybe, because he says that's why I never lie. It's hard to keep track of who knows what, which is also really good advice.
Yeah, I think this is the episode where he first says it. I never lie. I mean, maybe doesn't he mention it briefly in episode 1?
Maybe. I haven't watched that in 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I just watched this episode and I don't remember anything from it. So I'm really like struggling right now.
In one ear and out the other. I'm sorry.
when Lucifer asked Ty what's his design, like I want to skip our morning workouts, and Ty went boring, and then like I want to watch Master Chef, and like it's like a fantasy version of American Housewife. Come on, Todd, there must be something deeper. So it's like, oh, like this is such a boring desire. Come on, there's got to be something more than this.
Yeah, I loved that because it's funny because Lucifer is always drawing out people's desires, and normally they're very like dark and or like something related to do with sex or drugs or money, and this dude's just like talking about I don't remember now. See, I told you I just watched it. It went in one ear out the other, but and then he finally gets him to admit to the fact that he wants to get laid. Which I wonder, this is totally doesn't even matter, but I really want to know how his girlfriend reacted to that when she found out.
I mean, I think she cried. She cried at the froyo for 3 hours.
I don't think it's because she slept with that kid, though. I think it's because they broke up.
Mm.
But then she
But
said
wasn't
Because
she
it,
at the party and she saw them?
maybe.
Yeah, she said that she was at the party and she saw him kiss the other girl, and so it made her sad, and so she went to her froyo place and cried for 3 hours.
Honestly, though, relatable. I would do that.
Oh, and then I always love I do like the storyline where Lucifer has an imposter who's a two-pump
Yes.
chump. I
Oh
think
my
that's
God. See,
funny.
I love Maze's like witch cackle that she does every time that dude talks. She just like she finds the entire situation so funny because Lucifer, his identity got stolen, and it's by a total douche.
Mm-hmm. Do I look like I'd eat a zany wing in Tarzan?
Yeah,
That's just so funny.
her snort laugh is it's great. I love that. Maze is just iconic, and I really can't wait to reach the Orange is the New Maze episode because no matter how many times I watch it, it's one of my favorites, and I don't know why. It's just one of my favorite episodes. So same thing I ask every week. If there was something about this episode you could change, what would it be?
That's a good question. I will say that I liked the stunt of having the car explode. I thought that that was high budget to have like an episode 3 of a series.
Yeah, I was trying to wait and give other people a chance to talk, but yeah, no, the car exploding was cool, and I'm sure it's expensive, and you really only get one shot at that. So if you don't nail it, like you're kind of screwed.
Mm-hmm.
And how many takes does he Tom Ellis had to do to push that man across the glass
Yeah.
window wall? How many takes would that take to get
Well,
it
and I
right?
imagine that they probably use there's like this stuff, I don't remember what it's called, but there's like prop glass and it breaks really easily. So I'd imagine that's what they used, and they probably had a couple large panels of it. And so like if he didn't fall properly or maybe like the harness, because usually what I've seen from when they do scenes like this is they're connected to a harness and they just get yanked backwards. I imagine if he didn't land it right or he didn't hit the glass properly, or whatever, or they just didn't get the scene the way they wanted to, they probably had a couple backup panels where they could just clean up the mess and redo it. Or they just did it in one take and crossed their fingers, because that's what I would do. Yeah, I
Answering
don't
your,
know. Like, sorry, Kim, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, answering your question about what would we change.
Mhm.
I don't think we've seen Amenadiel since episode 1, so
Yeah, I
maybe
don't
a little
think
bit
so
more of that.
either.
Actually, he
I
appeared in the second episode.
Is he in the
Okay.
second episode? See, yeah, see, we forget because it's so far apart that we watch these. We have a whole week of stuff going on, and then we're like, okay, time to watch the next episode. We're like, what happened last week?
Need to
But
rewatch last week's before we watch this week's. LOL.
yeah, we'll just start rewatching both all of the episodes, and then by the time this time for the new episode shows up, we'll have caught up. I don't know. Like I said last week and this week are just not like favorite episodes, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I saw them so many times or just like the plot is kind of meh for me, but I really do like that they bring in that woman. I don't really know what her
Ronnie.
job description would be. Like, yeah, like the problem solver lady. I don't know what her job description would be. Like, is she like an assassin or like she just because she solves people's problems, which like loosely translate to she gets rid of people. So I don't know. I liked her. I liked her hairdo that she had going on. I liked her personality. I liked that she was kind of like low key hitting on Chloe.
Yeah, she does whatever she's paid to do.
I like that. I need that job.
Um, Going just quickly back to the Trixie in the house scene when she
Yeah.
asks her mom if Lucifer's a magician. I thought that was funny because of how much he likes magic.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
wishes
that's
he
a
were a
good
magician.
callback from season 6 too, to have it like that entire episode just based around him not wanting to know the secrets, and then Trixie's like, "Is he a magician?" And I still believe firmly that she is the one that gave Lucifer Chloe's number.
That's funny.
I mean, the
Just look
look
on
on
her face because
Trixie's face
she's like,
did prove it, though.
"Yeah," because she's like, "Lucifer, how did you even get this number?" And Trixie just grins, and I'm like, "Yeah, you gave him her number, didn't you?" Trixie's the number one Decker Starshipper right from the beginning. Whereas Maze is like, and it's so funny because like Maze and her haven't even met yet, I don't think. And so Maze is like 100% against it. Trixie's all for it. And like these two polar opposite characters end up being the best of friends. Later on, anyway.
It is so cute. I love
I
Maze
their,
and Trixie.
I love their relationship. It's so precious. And their little handshake. Like, I want to know who came up with that.
And then just another like forward-thinking thought when Lucifer was asking Ty what he wants and like his girlfriend and stuff, and he said that Ty said that he wanted to be the mother of his child, and I was like, Decker Star.
I just remember
That girl was very crazy,
they
though.
like have a game night like every like Friday night they have a game night, and then he has a unicorn on his face, and it's like everything like that, she's dedicated to game night with him, and that they're so closely knit together, and she's like the one trying to pull them together with game night. It's
Yeah, that's very cute. Speaking of the game nights, I will never forgive Joe and Ildy and all of them for the game night where like it starts with like their clothes all over the place and then their legs are tangled together and they're laying on the floor talking, and you're like, oh my god, are we finally getting a Decker Star? You know what scene? And then it's just game night. Never going to
That's my
forgive them.
favorite tease.
Listen, I love it. I love it, but it's because I hate it. Like, does that make sense? I love it so much that I hate it, or I hate it so much that I love it. Whatever. Because it's
Mm-hmm.
really cute. I really love the game night scenes. I wish we'd gotten more of them because they talk about how they have them all the time. I wish we'd seen more of that. But I'm so mad because we're like, oh my god, did they finally do something? No, the writers are just fucking with us, messing with us. Not
I
supposed
also
to drop
think
F bombs.
it's okay. I also think it's funny because if you like are watching them back to back to back, like it comes right off of like a really romantic scene. So it's like, oh my god, like finally, and then it's like, nope, haha, we pulled the rug under you.
Yeah, yeah. They do that a couple times to us. Joe, Ildy, Chris, looking at you guys. No, like going back to this episode, like I love that like Chloe almost like I don't know if the right word for it is this, but she almost profiles the girl that dies because she's like, okay, well she's probably going out for a night of fun. She's not gonna have a big bag. She's gonna have something small. And I'm mad because you never see her do that in any of the later episodes, at least not that I remember. You know, where she really tears apart a victim and is like, okay, well, you know, this is what they're wearing, like this is like kind of profiles them, and like she does similar things but never quite the same way, and I just really loved that. Like it really kind of dove down into like her detective instincts, like, okay, this girl's going out for a night of fun, she's not going to want a big bag to have to carry around, we're probably looking for something small, probably very girly, and I'm like, I don't know why, but I really love that scene.
Yeah, that's why I said that she's a really good detective because like she was getting down into the details, which was again, probably like a Fox to Netflix change was focusing on the cases more, and those are like details of a case.
Yeah, I mean, like, I understand Netflix not wanting to focus so much on the, police stuff, and as much as I love it, but I also I like when they do kind of show more stuff like that, even if like brief scenes like that where it's just in passing and then we move on. I just really, really love it.
Agreed. I like any scene that proves that Chloe is very smart because she is.
She is very smart. I wish, I don't know, like, I wish that this episode, um, like, I know somebody had mentioned having more Amenadiel, but I'm kind of like, both with Dan and Amenadiel, like, very anti them in the beginning because, I mean, obviously, because they're very douchey and I don't care for them. But I wish this episode had shown more of Maze because Maze is just really funny in this episode. And like they had this whole backstory with like on the back burner of this dude impersonating Lucifer. And I wish that we had seen more of Maze, like either tracking him down or whatever it was. Like I love her in this episode, especially when she's kind of bouncing off of this whole story where this dude's impersonating Lucifer. It's just so funny and I wish we had seen more of it.
Agreed.
I am running out of things to talk about. I'm gonna be honest. This episode is just very much police protocol, and there's not a lot to go off of, which is fine. I like it. It's just there's just not a lot of like substance to it, so there's not a lot to discuss.
I know. The only other thing that I have in my notes that I wanted to say is that I just really like making this a part of my routine, watching the episode once a week and then coming on here to talk about it with you guys. So thank you for joining us for this.
Honestly, you reminded me once again that it is Monday because you messaged me like, "Are you ready for tonight?" I'm like, "Crap, it's Monday again." No, I'm not prepared. Give me like 20 minutes to figure out my life.
I know. We will catch up with everything and we'll be good from now on. But
Yeah.
like we've been playing this for months and yet it's like actually doing it, it's very different. But I'm enjoying it and I hope everybody else is too.
I hope so. I know we kind of get on here and we stumble, and I think it frustrates a lot of people because we stumble and we don't really know what to talk about. We are not professionals. Like we are just doing this for fun. It would be a lot easier if more people joined in. And like this is no offense to anybody that's here right now or has been here tonight. It would just make it a lot easier on us if more people joined in so that we had more conversation to rebound off of. Because when it's just us two talking, it's very hard to come up with conversation starters for an hour.
I do have notes written down though that I go when I go through the episode.
I
But
need
yeah,
to
I've
start
hit
taking
everything
notes.
for tonight.
I need to start taking notes. It would make my life easier.
I've hit everything for tonight. Unless anybody else has anything that they want to say, I think we're good for episode 3.
Well, the only other thing that I wanted to say was that when he goes up to the guy who actually was in the car before he died, he actually questioned him on why he did it and what he was doing there.
In the pilot?
Yeah. Because he went up to him and he was asking him why. He's like, well, it wasn't, I was told to do this. And then the guy ended up dying and she was all mad because he questioned, like, she's like, how did you got hit? How are you still here?
Right, going back to how she was trying to like basically investigate like all the weird stuff that had been happening with
Yeah.
him. Yeah, I like, and I love that they show that in this episode that she is like sitting down at the end of the episode, watching him throw this like football player sized dude through a window like it's nothing. And I really, really genuinely wish, like I know the footage was kind of in like black and white, but I'd wish that they had shown like his eyes like glowing red or something, even just for a split second, so that she could even like do what she does and like brush it off as like, oh, the camera footage is just malfunctioning and that's why they're red. But I wish that they had shown because she zooms in on his face. I wish that they had shown something there because there's no like flicker of his devil face. there's nothing with the eyes. They just show her zooming in, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, I thought she saw his eyes, but I maybe that's like what you said, like there was like a camera glitch or something like that. Like she just questioned herself and what she saw.
That's what I thought. Like I watched it like really closely this time when we rewatched, but I just didn't see anything that would like hint to why she zoomed in on the footage. Like I don't know if she was just zooming in on his face or what, but like I just like I don't see like a flicker of his eyes. Like I said, I'm fairly certain the footage is black and white, and like so there's like I don't even see like his devil face or anything to give us a hint as to why she would be zooming in.
Yeah, I that's what I thought was like that she was like, wait, did I just see that or is that just a camera glare or something? Like,
I'm gonna mark it as another plot hole, like where maybe they just didn't have the funds to go back in and add the CGI or something.
yeah, that's true.
What I mean, yeah, unless anybody else has something to add, I think we're probably gonna wrap up episode 3. There's just not much to go off with this episode. I'm hoping next week that episode 4 will give us a little more suspense and that hopefully a couple more people will join in so that we can really get a conversation going.
Yeah, I'll definitely be hopping on next week.
Awesome. We will love that. We'd love to talk to you guys more. We will probably have to promote it more this week and try and get some more people to join in. Like our first week went really well. We had like 10 or so people in chat talking, hanging out. And then I think that people just kind of forget that we do it weekly. So we'll have to start posting a little more and drawing more attention.
Okay.
Talking to you, Kim.
I know. Like, I'm trying.
I know, but you're the one that messaged me and said, I just want it to be chill. So I'm not going to
I do
promote it a
want it to be
bunch. And I'm like,
chill. I
Kim.
do want it to be chill.
All right, guys.
But
I
no, this was a
will.
good discussion. I'm happy.
Yes, it was good. We did all right. I stumbled a lot at least. Hopefully next week goes a little smoother and we have more to work off of. But I will talk to you guys next week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.